Good evening. At this time, we have Oklahoma on the dais, starting with head coach Coach Gasso, student athlete Sydney Romero, student athlete Shay Knighton, and student athlete Paige Parker. Coach, we'll start with general comments about the game, then we open up for questions.
Another tough battle, and we are just really riding on adrenaline right now. I think our team came out ready to play. I liked what Paige did. She was pretty efficient. I can normally ask her, how many pitches did you throw?
92.
It was 91. It's freaky how she can do that, but she can do it. I thought it was pretty efficient and effective, and I thought our defense, especially the end of the game, the way Shay stepped up for Paige, the way Sid stepped up for Paige. I thought we hit the ball hard throughout the night, but the big one by Sid to help her pitcher stay out there and get it done was special. So I'm really proud of the effort tonight.
All right, we're going to open up for questions.
It's Tony Capobianco for Sydney Romero. Can you take us to that home run, the third inning, what pitch you were looking for and what pitch you got?
I just had my game plan. I was talking with my hitting coach before, and we had a game plan, and I stuck with it and executed.
Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Patti, can you describe what's going through your head as you watch Sydney round third? You look like you were shaking your head a little bit on the home run.
Every time she comes around, I just say Sydney Romero. I don't know why, except just it's Sydney Romero. So I really don't even have any idea what I was doing. I just know I said Sydney Romero, and she executed a nice plan, sat back on that, and hit it hard to give us a little bit of confidence.
James Hale, Sports Talk 1400, The Ref in Norman. And this is for Patti and Shay. Patti, we have, watched you guys score a lot of points. You can run, but you've talked about this defense all year. So again, it comes up huge in this game. And then Shay, when she answers, if you could follow with talk about the defensive play tonight, and there's a big play in the game.
We were in a tough position right there, and we knew their style. We know that if there's an angle down, a ball hit on the ground, the runner at third will break, and you could see that they were trying to do that. With every leadoff and every pitch that was taken, they were jumping real hard, almost to a point where Leah was wanting to pick that way. But that's part of their game plan. So we knew anything that was going to hit hard, and in knowing them and how they're coached, their execution would be to the right side of the field, which is where it should be. Shay, that was just a testimony to her love for her team and the will to make a play. Took it off the chin, gathered it up, Wodak sticking it home plate. It was tremendous. And those are plays you need to win championships and national championships. And I think earlier in the game, Cece made a really nice play in the 3-4 hole to throw the runner out at first. So we just felt like we kept taking momentum away. But the end of the game was something that I will treasure, because these guys have to deal with me every day on defense. And I keep telling them defense wins championships, but they don't believe me sometimes. So.
Oh, I definitely believe her. For me, it was just doing it for Paige, doing whatever it took for my team. I don't know why, but I had a feeling the ball was going to come to their right side. And I knew how they swing, it was going to be hit hard. So I just knew that if I keep my body in front of it, knock it down, I'll have a place somewhere. And like Coach said, I just took it off the chin, and I saw her running, so I just tried to get it as quick as I could, but make an accurate throw to Leah, and she stuck it. So.
Clyde.
Yeah, Clifford Brown, Associated Press. Similar situation late against Michigan and found a way through. What is it about this young team that allows them to keep coming through in these situations?
I wish I could bottle it up and keep it, because it's pretty incredible, but it's just their spirit of competition and refusing to lose, not wanting to get beat, finding ways to make plays, finding ways to make things happen in their favor. They are a very tight-knit group, and they are okay. When the ball got hit over the fence, no one panicked. And the attitude was, we've got you. You can see them kind of raise each other up that way. And it's special to watch. It's a really special dynamic that I haven't seen in a team, I don't think, ever. And it's really special. It's something that I'll always remember, is the style that this team has. It's very fun to watch.
Joe Helmer, OUinsider.com. Paige, what does it mean to you to have your defense making plays like that, and what are you thinking when that ball's hit at her and she's thrown it to home on that?
It means the world to me. I know how hard our defense works every day at practice, and for them to come up big like that, it's just something really special. And, when Shay made that play, when that ball was hit, I knew Shay was going to make that play because I see her make that play all the time. And, I just have the most confidence in our defense, and they came up really big tonight.
John McKelvey with the Norman Transcript. Paige, was there any part of you that wished you would have let Sydney get that ball that you overthrew to first base, and how'd you regather yourself after that?
I think I just rushed it a little bit, and I just went after the ball. I didn't really think about Sid in that situation. I just kind of reacted, and I think I just rushed it a little bit, and I just had to compose myself afterward and go on from there, just not let it affect me at all.
Sydney, Tony Sakalas, Anderson Star. Do you remember the exact pitch and what it was in that home run, a change-up fastball? And then for Paige, what does that do for momentum, getting that early lead?
What were you asking?
For you, do you remember the exact pitch on that home run?
Yes.
Was it just what kind of pitch was it?
It was a changeup.
And then Paige, what does that do for your momentum, that home run?
I think it was a really big momentum shift. Us getting 2 runners on and Sydney coming up, I knew she was going to do something big in that situation, and it was definitely a momentum shift for us, and it gave me a lot of confidence on the mound.
Hey, Sydney, with your sister's experience, I assume you've been to the World Series before. You played in it this year. You obviously know, the memories and all of the things that come out of this. For you to have such a huge hit in this game, what does that mean for you, knowing what this series means? And Patti, is there anything? You talked earlier in the week about, sort of the Romero genes, and is there anything about that has sort of allowed her to have that kind of play in this series?
Well, and we've talked about, like you said, we talked about before. Sierra is Sid's hero and has taught her how to play the game, or played along with her. And Sid, in the early part of the year, was always Sierra's little sister, Sid. And we needed to establish Sydney Romero. Thus, every time she rounds third, I say Sydney Romero, because I want Sydney Romero to be Sydney Romero, in honor of her sister, Sierra, who taught her how to swing the bat, probably, and her dad and her family. They're a very tight-knit family, and so she's doing it for her family, for her sister, but this is Sid Romero that's doing it, and it's been pretty cool to see her really kind of gravitate and understand that.
Sid, from your perspective?
Being here at the World Series in the previous years, I felt like I've been living in my sister's experience, because all I wanted to do was be on that field. And the fact that we're here and stepping up in that game, it felt really good.
Gentleman on the wall. Sir. You.
Okay, sure. Clay Horning, Norman Transcript. Paige, through 6 innings, you had allowed 2 or 3 hits, no runs, yet struck out nobody. And I'm just wondering, what kind of a game were you having? Were you particularly crafty tonight to make that happen?
I don't think so. I was just trying to go out there and execute the game plan to the best of my ability, and like I said, just trust my defense, and they came up big.
Did you know you
Yeah, I did.
AL.com, Wes Signer. Coach, I was just wondering if Auburn's starting Lexi Davis, a pitcher who hasn't pitched this postseason, if that caught you guys by surprise, and just how you think she performed in that situation.
I think she did well. I know she's a senior, so in some respect, I wasn't necessarily so surprised, but we didn't know, and we were ready. We talked and looked at We did. We had to look at all of them and just be prepared for it. So it wasn't really in major detail, but more of understanding what they brought and what we needed to do. I thought we hit the ball pretty hard tonight. They made some good plays. So it was just talking about it and knowing what we needed to do.
Right.
Patti, what have you seen from the work JT has done with Sydney, and for all we talk about family with this team, what is it like watching that for you?
Is he here?
He's in the back.
Oh. Prideful. I gotta stop. Prideful.
Patti, just want to ask about, Shay Knighton starting in the outfield to begin the season, and Leah Wodak started in the outfield to begin the season, and Shay obviously has an arm, so she threw her out at home, but what's it like to see those two change so much to kind of take that next step? When
we did that, our world changed. We lost Whitney Montgomery, who was one of the best catchers in the country. And one of our mottos, and something we always say, and it's no disrespect to anybody, but there's not one player bigger than our team. So with that, Leah Wodak said, "It's me. I got you guys." So we moved her back to the plate, behind the plate. Her offense suffered a little bit, but we picked her up that way. Katie Self was playing first base. Cece wasn't even in the lineup, I don't think, or her and Shay were kind of moving in and out. So moving Katie back to left field where she feels most comfortable. And Shay was having a little bit of injury problems, so kept Cece at second, who's got phenomenal range. And Shay Knighton is an excellent first baseman, as you saw tonight. She's tough. That changed our world. When we made those changes, everything really seemed to click very well, and it changed our world.
Patti, 3 years ago, you brought back not Kalani Ricketts to pitch Game 2 in the national championship you won. Any chance you have a fresh Paige Parker?
I don't know yet. I don't know. We got to go back and talk, and I love our pitching staff is just waiting. They're sitting and waiting and saying, whenever you need us, we're ready. They're just waiting. So it's all about tomorrow and what we feel like after a good night's rest and so forth. So we haven't even gotten that far yet.
We're going to do two more, Cliff.
Yeah, Coach, interesting that you mentioned that. Paige threw 91 pitches. Not all that many, relatively. How important is that as you go forward?
Very important, but also at the same time, when you get into this game, you cannot feel anything. You cannot feel pain. You cannot feel tired. You cannot feel sore. You can't. You got to live off of adrenaline. That's what wins championships. So there are no excuses, no one. They're going to find a way. I mean, a lot of these guys are banged up, but you don't know it because they will not take themselves out of this game. So it is everything. I mean, you're dreaming of this day, and every one of these guys are going to beg to be on that field. I know that, and they're going to beg to get in the game somehow to help this team win a championship.
Okay, Paige, I feel almost dumb asking this after that, but what have you been doing to try to stay as fresh as possible? Is it the same routine, or have you added some things to try to keep your body fresh?
I have a pretty good routine with our trainer, and, it's just making sure I ice afterward and just doing whatever I have to do to feel fresh for the next day.
All right, Coach, ladies, thank you again. We're going to do this all over again tomorrow night at 7.